Hey guys, welcome to another vlog entry. Just thought to do a quick video vlog. Mainly just to kind of talk to you guys and get back on track. Videos have been a bit skittish again. So yeah, just been on the phone with my good friend Chris, Welsh Chris, or Chris Evans, that goes to TFN. Just had a nice little catch-up chit-chat with him, talking about Infinity Wars and Pacific Rim 2 and so on and so forth. And yeah, it's always good to hear from people and talk to people and people that you don't see very often. You know, it'd be great if I could meet up with people a lot more often. I can't always afford and I can't always get the time off for a lot of the official meets, such as like the Southern meet and so on and so forth. I would love to try and get to a Southern meet, you know, and go to a London meet at some point, but it's out of my hands at the moment, and this year definitely not, because I've got Benidorm and TFN both on the cards, as you all know. So that is definitely not happening. I can't do any meets as well, because I just simply can't afford to do it. And plus, when it comes to me living in Hull, I've mentioned this before, I don't really have to say much about it, but with me living in Hull, London, I'm not saying it's difficult to get to London, it's not. If you don't miss the coach, like me and Tony did, and again, not my fault. But anyway, so if you don't do things like that, then you'd be alright, but no, it's basically when it comes to Hull, there's no straight train, there's no straight, there's no straight to Hull to London, you know, there's no straight through run. You have to, I think, at least change maybe once or twice, depending on the service you're going with. So I think it's at least you have to change at least once or so down the line. And also it's incredibly expensive, so I would need to know well in advance in order to get a cheaper train travel. Going up there just for the day, it wouldn't really work out right, because I'd have to set off incredibly stupidly early, like the earliest train I can possibly get, which would be easily 7 o'clock in the morning, probably a bit earlier, or maybe around about 8 o'clock, I don't know. But I would have to get literally the earliest train possible, and by the time we get there, we wouldn't have that much time left. We really wouldn't have that much time, because we'd have to probably get the 5 or 6 o'clock train in the evening to come home. The reason for that is because literally it takes around about 4 hours, 4.5 hours to get from Hull to London King's Cross, or to London, and yeah, that's a lot of travel just for one day. So if I was to do something like the Southern meet, I'd literally have to go down there, and I'd have to at least stay over the night somewhere in a hotel. So like I say, I'd need to know that well in advance. And also, a lot of the time, Southern meets in the past have been over the Easter weekend, or they've been over a certain bank holiday. And yeah, it's difficult with bank holidays. With me working in retail, it's quite difficult because, well, if anyone's worked in retail, they'll understand. Because for me, I have to at least work 3 of them a year, and I do get some of them, I get the day off. But it depends. We don't know what we are working and what we aren't working until maybe a good week before it's around the corner, you know what I mean? They're not very good when it comes to paperwork, so yeah. But anyway, so getting that out of the way. But yeah, I would love to get to more meetups and love to meet people and start travelling a little bit more and going a little bit more further afield. Like, you know, I've just been talking to Chris, like I just said, and I've been talking about hopefully maybe going to going Wales way. I mean, I've already been to Wales, but I've only been I went to Swansea City, Hull City versus Swansea a few years ago with mate Matty from work. And Oh god, that was horrible. On a coach with a bunch of screaming football fans, pissheads from our neck of the woods, and there were pissheads as well. I'm not just saying that, but yeah, another good 4.5, nearly 5 hour bus journey there and back. And at the time I got home, it was around about 2 o'clock in the morning. By the time I got back home, and I was at work that morning as well. I was at work about 10 o'clock in the morning on the Sunday morning, so it didn't really work very well. But anyway. But yeah, so I'd love to do that and meet more people, but it's unfortunate. I mean, I live so far out, and the closest people that I know are mainly Manchester way, and Manchester's at least a good 1.5 2 hour journey back and forth. It's not too bad, but like I said, the closest is Manchester. The people that live that side or down that way. But then when a lot of the people that I know live mainly Midlands and London way, that go to TFN as well, and Newcastle. Well, actually, it's Newcastle as well. A few people from Newcastle, but the furthest away places is definitely Wales and London, and I can't just drop everything and go to those meetups in those areas because it does take me a bit of planning in order to do so. But anyway, so moving away from that boringness, the vlog's not just talking about that. There is something I would like to just disclose or just talk about in brief. What I would like to talk about is basically, this is still in theory, and it won't be happening for at least another 2 or 3 years. But I just want to talk about it in brief here, just so you know what's happening. Many of you already are well aware that I've been really wanting to go to Japan. And it's looking very, very likely that it's on the cards. The reason why it's not going to be for another 2 or 3 years, mainly 3 years, because, well, this year is obviously Benidorm and TF Nation, and next year is Amsterdam. So, and the year after that is the Tokyo Olympics. So, yeah, I'm not going to go to Tokyo during the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo because it will be manic, even though it already is manic because so many people visit, but there will be more than the normal average. There almost certainly will be, because when it comes to whether you're a fan of sport or not, or if you follow the Olympics or not, you can't deny that when these things happen, you get people from all over the world, and there's a lot of people that follow the Olympics and travel all over the world to watch people compete and so on. So yeah, I'm not doing that. So that's why it's a good 3 years, because we're thinking about 2021, the year of going. Now, this all started with just a simple share of an article on my Facebook page. Whether it's true or not, I don't know, but basically in Japan, it was they were advertising that Coca-Cola, and I got this in my hand as well, Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, for the first time in the 150 years of being in business, have decided to create an alcoholic beverage, and it's going to be a Japanese exclusive drink, only kind of available in Japan. And I shared it to my mate Smithy, who's going with me to Benidorm, as well as my mate Matty as well. So I shared it to him and I said, oh, I'd love to try this, because me and him really like our booze. And yeah, so he said, yeah, that's awesome. Then he kind of said, oh, I'd love to go to Japan. And I said, oh, I'd love to go to Japan as well. And it kind of started from all that, really. Started from there. So yeah, we then started to text one another, and I said, you know what, I'm being serious now. I really would love to go to Japan at some point, maybe 2021, maybe about that time. because obviously we've got a lot on still, and obviously I'm not going to go during 2020 Tokyo Olympics. So yeah, that's where it all started, and then I texted my mate Matt. Well, I mentioned it to Sam as well, because Sam would love to go to Japan. So I said to Smithy, and I said to Sam as well at the same day. I said, you know, if you want to do it, and Sam's kind of said, yeah, it'd be probably interested, but it is a bit too far to really say for definite. Well, for any of us, to be honest. But we are looking at it, and I've mentioned it to Matty as well, who's going to Benidorm with us. He is possible. So as long as I can get, you know, there's at least that's me, Sam, Matty and Smithy. That's 4 of us. And a group of 4 would be kind of about right for a trip to Japan, because of, you know, it'd be cool to travel in a group. But we'll see. We'll see how it all goes. But like I say, it's something I've been meaning to mention in a vlog. And like I said, it's in theory. It's not written down. It's not confirmed as of yet. But it is looking that maybe once we get Benidorm out the way, obviously in Amsterdam as well next year, because Amsterdam's not going to take as much money to sort out for that. As it will for Benidorm. So once we get Amsterdam and Benidorm out the way, we're then going to start meeting up and talk about Japan, because from the point of next year after Amsterdam, we will then be able to start the saving process. So that's why I'm thinking that, and it will give us a good 2 years of saving. Because a good trip to Japan would be, you know, it would be, we'd need more money than we would need for Benidorm and Amsterdam. We'd need about this, yeah. It would be like the money for Amsterdam and money for Benidorm combined, probably a bit more as well. Even though if you translate for, you know, yen to dollar then to pound, there's not as much in the yen as it is. The yen doesn't really stand up to the pound that much, even though it has been kind of in the markets in Japan that the yen has been steadily increasing in value a little bit, but it still doesn't stand up. So yeah, but what we're thinking about doing when we go to Japan is, I would love to go to Hiroshima and Kyoto, as well as Tokyo, and if it will allow, I would like to go and check out Fukushima. It all depends, because like I say, there's a lot of travel involved in doing things like that. Because with it being our very first time going to Japan, it's going to take a lot of planning. It's going to, because we're going to need to know transport, obviously, transport. We're going to need to understand, you know, what things are, like, understand signs. I know in Tokyo, they actually do have them in English. They have obviously in Japanese, and they have it in English, and, you know, as well, so you can understand some signs in Tokyo. But when you go out of Tokyo, you're very much oldie-worldy Japan, and not many signs are in English. So you kind of need to understand. It a bit more if you want to go further afield. I suppose maybe like any of the big stations, they'll probably have English signs, but any sort of little country stations, you know, like the little country stations outside, little prefecture stations and so on, they won't. They'll be fully oldie-worldy type of deals. But yeah. It is kind of interesting and very exciting for me, because originally I was talking about going to New York, maybe 2020, after it all finished, 2020 or 2021, but I thought, you know what, Tokyo is the main place I'd love to go to, so if I can go to there, and then maybe New York will probably be after that as well, so, but it's one of the things I want to do, is to travel a bit more. You know, not just travel around different countries, but just travel a bit more. You know, meet some good friends up in different areas of the UK, Ireland. I want to go to Ireland, Dublin as well at some point. I want to go Scotland way. I want to go to Wales Comic Con because they seem to get some fantastic guests. And fucking hell, Wales Comic Con this year, my god! They've got Sean Petrie, they've got the kid who plays Bruce Wayne in Gotham. They've got the guy who plays Penguin going. Anyway. But anyway, so I'm going to bring this vlog to an end now because literally there's no context at all really to this vlog. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that and talk about, you know, just keep you in the lurch. Now, I will mention bits and bobs in time. Once Benidorm's out the way, because Benidorm isn't long away now at all. Benidorm is literally, we go in September and it's March now. So April, May, June, July, August, September, so 6 months until we go to 6 months. So that's not long at all. That'll come round as quick as possible. Then obviously we've got TF Nation as well, which is in August, which is the month before. So yeah, money saving is kind of going to be the main primary focus at the moment, because saving, I've only got like £100 put away so far. I know, bad, innit, bad. I need to, because I'm having to pay a little bit more for my hotel room this year. Not that much more, but I'm having to pay a little bit more because we missed out on the special deal, TFN special discount rates. So I had no choice but to book. I had no choice but to book it under just the normal pricing. There's not that much difference really. I mean, the main thing we actually had to pay for our breakfast, because that's not in, you know, the breakfast is involved. It is included in the hotel in TF Nation special, you know, value whatever. But it isn't for the normal rate. You have to pay for your breakfast separately. So that's why it's a little bit more. Is obviously we're having to pay per night rate a little bit more, and obviously have to pay for our breakfast. But yeah, just whatever. So I have to pay a little bit more each, me and Sam, for our hotel, because me and Sam are sharing again, because it's just easier to do so. So yeah, I'm glad Sam is sharing with me, to be honest, because I would not be able to afford it on my own. So yeah, so that's happening. And then obviously I need to try and get a few £100, maybe 200 or 300 spending cash as well. Yes, and obviously I've got a figure as well on pre-order I need to remember about. It could cost me 100 or could easily be over £100, and that's that Masterpiece Beast Wars Dinobot. I pre-ordered that a few months ago. Well, I paid the invoice. I don't have to accept it, because apparently I read the information when I read the information when I pre-ordered it, that apparently you get sent an email, and you pretty much confirm on the email whether you want to go ahead with it or not. Obviously you'll lose your deposit, but you know, you've got the choice whether you want to go ahead with it or not near the time, apparently. But yeah, we'll see. But anyway, so thank you very much for watching, and yeah, so the future's looking pretty bright and awesome, really. Japan is literally it is my dream to go, not just because I'm a fan of anime. Let's just put that out there. I'm not going just because it's anime. Yes, it is the origin of what I loved, one of the things I love the most. The country of origin, should I say. But, you know, I just love it because it's so rich in history. It's just historically rich in history. Obviously, historically rich. But anyway, so it's got a lot of history, and it's just a stunning, beautiful, in some respects a bit surreal, country that I've always wanted to go and check out. And I mainly want to go because it was kind of, my mum wanted me to do it as well. I want to do it for myself, but it was also something my mum really was hoping me to experience. Because originally Japan was going to be 2019. I originally was going to go on my own. I know, right? Originally, because Sam, I did mention it to Sam, but he was a bit vague with his response. He was a bit, I'm not too sure yet. So I thought, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to go, whether I go on my own or not, I'm going to go on my own if no one else wants to go. And I said to my mum, obviously shortly before, about a year before she passed away, this was back in, 2016, and I said to her, you know what, 2019 I want to go to Japan, start putting money away and go to Japan. And because originally I said 2019 is obviously 2020, it's the Tokyo Olympics, like I mentioned earlier. And I said I want to go in 2019, and because it'll give me a good 2-3 years of saving, and I might be able to do it if I do it that way. And my mum pretty much just said to me, "You do it, lad. You do it. You go and enjoy it." And obviously, nobody knew. Not that, maybe only. From that point, maybe only about maybe 5 or 6 months later, she was gone. So that kind of put a spanner in the works, and that is not going to be happening in 2019, obviously. 2019 is now Amsterdam, so, but I want to go mainly because my mum knew how much I loved the idea of going there, and she was real made up for me when I said, oh, I'm going to make it a possibility in 2019, but obviously I can't do that now because different things have arisen during that time, and obviously I thought it'd be a bit too soon. Well, saying that, I'm going to fucking Benidorm this year, so, but yeah, I'm going to, going to, yeah, but, I go to Benidorm, so it's not too much problem. But yeah, you know what I mean. It's yeah. But anyway, so I want to go mainly because I've always wanted to go, but I also want to go to kind of fulfill that kind of wish, and my mum would really want me to go and experience it for myself. So that's kind of the reason why. But anyway, so I'm not going to get soppy on you too much, but thank you very much for watching. Until next time, stay awesome everybody, and thank you for watching. Rock on!